everybody. I want to talk about the main reason. Hey everybody. Hey everybody. Hey, so today I want to talk about the main reason why people fail on a vegan diet. I say it's the main reason, even though there's so many reasons, because I think it's what most of those reasons stem from, and it is simply not caring enough. There's so many reasons why people fail on the vegan diet. Anything from not eating a healthy enough diet to having to peer pressure, to having your friends and your peer pressure, the societal pressures around you, make you fail, make you leave the diet. And why I say not caring enough is the reason why most people fail is because it causes all these other things. It causes people to not research enough, so they don't become learned enough to succeed. It causes them to not research enough, so they don't become learned enough to be able to make the right arguments when people question them. It causes them to just simply give up because societal pressures are saying, hey, we all eat meat, you don't eat meat, you're weird, you're alienated, you're unhealthy. And because if you don't care enough about the animals, or if you don't care enough about the environment, or if you're not educated enough to care enough about your own health, then you're going to fail. You're going to leave the diet, and it's never going to be sustainable if you don't have the foundation of compassion and caring. Not only for the animals, I'd say that's the largest thing, that's the biggest anchor that will keep you in this diet, is if you care enough about the animals and you constantly remind yourself that no, that's not cheese, that's rape, murder, abduction, and everything else awful about that industry, instead of saying, oh, that's a nice cheeseburger, or a nice cheesy pasta. That would sound really nice. That used to make me really comfortable when I was a young kid. If you can't look at it that way anymore once you start caring, because that's not reality. I mean, the reality of the situation is that these animals are being tortured, they're exploited and killed, murdered, abducted. They have their children taken from them at birth most of the time. And if you don't care about that, then you're not gonna succeed on the vegan diet. You're always gonna find an excuse. You're always gonna say, "Oh no, I just did it for weight loss," or "No, I really want that cheeseburger. I really want that other thing." And it's if you're selfish at all about this, if your reasons are selfish, it's not sustainable. It's not going to be sustainable. And not only are you going to not reap the benefits of not killing animals and not supporting the industry of killing animals, you're not going to be supporting yourself. You're going to lose the health benefits. You're going to lose the environmental benefits. You're going to lose the appearance. You're going to lose the glow you get when you're eating a plant-based diet. And everybody's going to lose if you lose your compassion. Everybody's going to lose if you become selfish. And that happens in every aspect in our lives. It's not just diet, but if you become selfish, your relationship's going to lose, in anything, not just boyfriend, girlfriend, marriage, friendships, family. If you become selfish, everybody loses. And this diet is central to compassion. You can't be a compassionate human being and continue on any other diet other than veganism. You just can't. You can't have an option to be compassionate or kill animals and choose to kill animals and still be compassionate. It just doesn't work. So there's so many reasons why people fail on a vegan diet, and I'm maybe the first one to admit that yes, you can get nutrition deficiencies if you're eating a shitty plant-based diet. Um, but instead of going back to meat and cheese and dairy and eggs, um, why don't you just take some supplements, or why don't you improve your diet? Start eating fruits and vegetables, raw, nutritious. You know, why would you ever go back to killing animals simply because? I mean, people don't fail on the vegan diet. The vegan diet doesn't fail people. People fail themselves. They fail to become educated. They fail to. I mean, I'm just repeating myself at this point, but if you start caring enough, you will care enough to educate yourself enough to be able to combat every single question any skeptic has about the vegan diet. If you care enough, you'll become educated enough to be confident in this diet, nutritional wise. You'll become educated enough to take care of yourself. If you care enough about yourself, you'll become educated enough to make sure you don't fail on this diet, because you want to eat healthy. You want to be healthy. You want to live and feel, look healthy. If you care enough about the environment, you can't, just like you can't be compassionate without being vegan, you can't be an environmentalist without being vegan. You just can't. You can't engage in the most environmentally destructive practice on the planet, which is animal husbandry and fishing, and care about the environment at the same time. You just can't. So, probably the biggest reason why people fail is because they're simply not eating enough. They are used to meat, cheese, and eggs, flesh, muscle, coagulated breast milk of a cow, and a chicken's period, unfertilized egg, which are massively calorically dense. They're just full of fat, full of protein, and when you're coming to a plant-based diet, which is full of water and fiber instead of fat and protein, you're going to have to start eating enough, because water and fiber are not calories. They're not going to give you energy. They're going to help your body function properly. You're going to be hydrated, and you're going to be regular for once in your life. But if you're just eating broccoli for protein and chickpeas for protein because you've been brainwashed into thinking you need a bunch of protein, you're gonna fail, because you're not eating enough carbohydrates. You're not eating enough sugar. You're not eating enough starch. You don't have to eat starch, but you have to get enough carbohydrates. You can either go raw vegan and eat fruit primarily for energy, or you can go raw till 4 or whole food plant-based vegan and eat potatoes and grains, rice, beans, stuff like that for your carbohydrate calories. So if you're failing on veganism because you're not eating enough, that's not the vegan diet that's failing you. That's because you don't care enough to educate yourself onto what you should be eating. You don't care enough to educate yourself enough to know how to succeed. And so one big tip is just simply eat enough. You can't the size of your plate on a standard American diet is not going to suffice if you come to a raw vegan or any vegan diet. Your plate size needs to grow. It probably needs to become a giant fucking bowl instead of a plate, because your foods are now high water and high fiber. If you're eating fruit, you're going to need to eat even more volume than you are on a starch-based cooked vegan diet. So if you haven't educated yourself enough to know how much you need to be eating, it's likely that you're gonna find yourself in a situation where you're hungry as hell and the only foods around are non-vegan. And naturally, what we do when we're starving, we eat food. We're known as opportunist omnivores. So out in the wild, when there's no food, we started to hunt. We started to eat bugs. We started to eat things that were going to help us survive. You can't say that your body actually needs animals because one day you were starving yourself so much and you actually ate some non-vegan food and you didn't feel so hungry anymore. That doesn't mean that those animal foods are good for you. That doesn't mean that your body needs those animal foods. That means that you're starving yourself and your body wants to survive, because our biological instincts are inherent and they don't just go away because you've chosen a compassionate lifestyle. You're always going to be an animal in nature. You're always going to need calories from carbohydrates. So my wife just completed a 24-day fast where she consumed nothing but water for 24 days. If she can go 24 days without water, you can go a few hours in a situation where there's no vegan food around and remain vegan. I hope I've made myself clear as to why not caring is the biggest reason why people fail on this diet. I hope I haven't offended anybody. If I have, I mean, what I'm saying is just fucking obvious and true. So if I've offended anybody, that's your own conscious speaking. So, sorry, not sorry. I hate that phrase so much, but I just said it, and it applies. So, anyways, I think that's about it. Like this video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Peace.